Well, welcome everyone. First, thank you to the sponsors. Anyone from a sponsoring organization here? Yeah, thank you. This is, I mean, without you guys, we couldn't do this. So thank you very much. Havala. Okay. Does anybody know where this is?
Yeah. St. Louis?
Yes, it's St. Louis. So I'm from St. Louis. We have, you probably already know that there's a lot of Bosnian people who are living in St. Louis. I think it's the largest place outside of Europe where Bosnians live. So anyway, so it's like, you feel free to visit anytime. You can see me, you can see this.
We don't even have to switch languages.
That's right. By the way, I'm speaking English today, so I'm sorry if my English is not is understandable for you, but
It is.
okay. All right. Next time I will work on my Bosnian. So okay, we're going to play a game, and so I'm just going to give you the instructions, and I'll let you play, and then we'll have a debrief at the end. All right. So the idea here is that we're going to simulate actual work. So hopefully it won't be, well, if you enjoy work, hopefully it'll be as enjoyable as real work. But we're going to play in individual teams. So at your tables, come in. Yeah, I think there's some spots. But we all play as one organization. So if you imagine you're individual teams, but we're all in the same company. All right, so we're all friends. Okay, and so we're going to simulate different days. So each day is going to be a round in the game. Okay, so we use cards, kind of like if you use user story cards or any kind of work task cards to tell us what the value is. Okay, so that's how we generate value in this game. Okay, and I mentioned the idea is that we're going to play independently but also interdependently. Okay, so here's one of these work cards. All right, so you see on the board in front of you, that's just a sample workflow. The individual stages don't matter that much. It's just meant to be a simulation of workflow going across the board in a work process. All right, so these cards, I'm giving you a tremendous gift today. You may not know it, but I'm telling you up front exactly how much effort is involved for each card. All right, so that's this number here, 26 effort to get this done, which is basically the sum of all of these dots. So each of these dots corresponds to a work stage in your workflow. So the red is the design phase, then it moves to develop, test. So you can see there's a lot of testing work in on this particular card. All right? Some cards have a team dependency. All right? So the team here, your team is indicated by your marker color. So you've got the green team here. I'll make cards for you too, by the way. So we got a green team. There's a purple team over here. What color is your marker in the back? Pink. Okay, pink. Red. Sorry. Red, and then blue. All right. So get to know each other because you're going to have dependencies on those teams. All right. You're going to have to be friends with them. Okay. Also, we want to record some data in this game because ultimately what we want to learn is different options for forecasting and answering that question, when will work be done? All right. I think most of you probably said yes, you have to answer that question. So we want to understand how do we answer that question in a different way. So I'm going to ask you, every time you start a card, you write down the day that you commit to it. That's the start day. And then the day that you deliver it is the end day. All right? So everything between the green flag and the finish line flag, that's work in progress. Okay? Delivery time is basically this minus this, plus 1, because we can't really finish a card in 0 days. Okay, so the people. So each of you is on the team, and you have an important role to play. All right, so each of you can do 4 bits of effort per day. All right, so you have in front of you these little cubes. These cubes represent your work and how much work you can do each day. When you can no longer use your cubes, that's the end of your day. All right, so you'll make decisions as a team how to use your effort each day. Okay, so you're going to have a role specialty just like in real life. So some of you might be, you might be a designer, right? So you work you can use all of your cubes in design. You get 4 points of effort. Just like in real life, you can also work outside of your specialty. So if you're a designer, you can help out in testing sometimes, right? But you may not be as effective. So for every 2 cubes you use, you get 1 point of effort done in testing if you're outside of your specialty, all right? So you get 1-to-1 ratio in your specialty, and it's 2-to-1 outside of your specialty. Also, the other teams will be asking for help. I mentioned the team dependencies. So if you decide to help another team, if you work in your team and another team in the same day, it's just like in real life, there's a context switching penalty, right? So you have to subtract 1, right? So if you have 4 that you use, and you use 2 in your own team, and some other team wants you to help, you have to subtract 1, and you can only use 1 for that team. Okay. I'll come around and remind you of these rules too. Okay, so I want you to staff your teams so you can decide what role you want to play. So each of you, I ask to either put this on, you can wear this, or just put it next to you if you don't want to wear it. But decide among your team how many of each person you want to have. So if you need more tags, I can give you different ones, or you can flip them around. Okay? Decide who you want to be on your team and what roles you want them to be in. Any questions?
Let's start. Did we maybe miss a few of these?
Yeah, I'll give you some more. Yeah, do you want more?
Well, a lot more.
Yeah, you want? Well, tell me how many developers do you have?
Who's gonna be a developer?
I can be a developer.
Yeah, I'll be 2. 2 developers.
2 developers.
3.
3 developers. All right. So you need. So grab 4 cubes for each of your. So who's the developer?
Me.
Yeah. All right. And you need some.
We don't have managers.
I'm your manager. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. No peeking. All right. So when you've decided who your roles are, grab 4 cubes of the color that correspond to your role. Perfect. The purple is the pink. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. You guys are good? Do you need? Oh. Yeah. Pink. Yes.
We're missing a tester.
There you are.
Please test them.
Oh. You're a deployer too.
We had one tester, but I can switch it.
You can switch it around if it's.
Do we have to have like each team needs to have one designer to test it?
No, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
I'm missing.
Okay, what do you need? Pink? There we go. Yep. Good.
We're missing a developer.
Do you have a developer?
Yeah, but we need
I can be both.
No, you just have to be one specialty.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
You can be developer.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Too many.
You need extra. Okay. And you're Red. You're designer.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Perfect.
too many deployers.
Okay. Oh.
Deployers. Is it? It doesn't matter who you are in a team, or
No,
you
you
have
can-
to be equally spread. Because I see that we have everything set up for the 2 developers, 2 testers. 2
Oh, that was just like a
Doesn't
initial.
matter?
Yeah, you can have whatever you want.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Then we're fine.
You're good?
Yep.
Okay. All right. All right. How are you guys doing? All right? Okay, so everybody take a color, 4 of the color that corresponds to your role. The pink is purple. Yeah.
Pink is purple.
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't find any good purple cubes. All right. Is it extra? Okay. You need. Okay. Here, I'll give you white ones. I left some back at the office, so I'm sorry. Just Pretend these are green.
Yeah, they are.
Okay. Okay, you guys good? All right, yes.
Can we get one more tester, please?
Another tester, yes. Okay. Do you want a different badge or?
Yes.
Yeah, let me get a. There you are. Okay. You're welcome.
Sorry for being late.
That's okay. It's okay. You guys good?
Yeah.
Okay.
We think.
Okay, shall we continue? Yeah, everybody take 4 cubes that correspond to your role color. So the purple is pink. Yeah. Yep. You guys good?
Yeah.
You have extra? You're good, okay. Okay. All right, let's continue. Okay. So I mentioned the team dependency, all right? So when you turn over a work card that has a little black band on it like this, then you also need to turn over a team dependency card, which is right below it. That will show you what color team you have to find someone to help with. So pretend it's like a system or API type of information you need. It can be anyone or any people from that team. So for example, this is the purple team. So say they get a card that's dependent on the green team. All right, so someone, probably the nicest person from this team, will come over here and say, could you please help us? We need someone to give us 4 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. You can do that over the course of many days, but you just can't finish the card until you have 4 points of effort from someone or some people from that team.
4 points.
Yes, 4 points. It could be any role. It doesn't matter who, and it can be at any time just before you consider it done. All right? So you could just say, the green team could just say, what's your name?
Leah.
Leah? Okay, so they say, Leah, just go help the purple team the entire day, and then she could give all 4 of her effort to that team for that day.
But you can question.
Yes.
4 points for that team, but it means 8 points, 8 cubes from our side.
No, it just means that her 4 that she would use for your team, she's not using with you. She's just using it with these guys.
She can only use 3,
Yeah,
yeah?
if she's doing her role, if she's switching the role, then she cuts in half.
No, for the team dependency, it's just you get all 4 points.
Okay.
Yep. But if she does it in the same day, then you have to have the 1 point penalty.
Okay.
But if she goes the whole day, it's fine. It's all 4. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's like you're not having a context switching anymore. Yeah. Okay. I'll be around to help too if you have any questions. Okay. Does anybody ever have blockers in real life? Sometimes. Okay. No. Okay. All right. This is a good team then. Okay. So in this game, for every card that you have in progress, at the end of the day, you need to spin the blocker spinner. Okay. So you can see. In the middle, you have blocked and not blocked, okay? So if you end up and it's blocked, you need to put a pink sticky. Oh, thanks. Ah, very nice. Yeah, perfect. Okay, you need to put a pink blocker sticky, just kind of like in real life. If you're, yeah, thank you. Voila. At the beginning of the next day, you spin to see if it's resolved. All right, so then you use the outer ring. It says still blocked or unblocked or still blocked. Okay? That's for each card that you have in progress. Okay, similarly, do you ever have any problems when you deploy things? No. They always go perfectly. Yeah, okay, all right. So in this game, when you're finished with all the effort and you're in deploy and you finish deploy, you need to roll the die. If you get a 1, that's very bad. And you have to erase the deployment work and redo the deployment work. Okay, that's a 1. A 1 is bad. All right. Sorry.
Other numbers are.
Other numbers are good. It's done. You got it. Okay. Okay. So this is what I'll leave this up here for you to look at. But this is kind of the flow of each day. So you'll start a card at any time and record the commit date. That's very important because I'm going to come around throughout the game and take your data and we'll use it to do a forecast later. So record the commit date. If you have any blocked cards, spin to resolve those. You can have a stand-up meeting or a flow planning meeting, whatever you want to call it, to decide how you want to use your team's effort. And then tick off the work. You can use your marker on the cards. It's a dry erase, so you can put that on the card. And record the day when you finish. Okay? For each day, you can spin, and then move the day tracker. Oh, I need to give you a day tracker. At the top of your board, to keep your track of your day, and then take an event card. All right, the event card will give you some kind of instruction or question. Okay? Okay, almost finished with the instructions, and we'll get started, okay? Has anybody ever used a Scatterplot before? Scatterplot chart? Okay, cool. So have someone in your team be the Scatterplot person, all right? This is a good role to play. Basically, for every card you finish, you're going to record the number of days it took to finish. So in this example, card number 1 took 4 days to finish. The next card was card number 2, and it took 8 days to finish. Card number 3, and then they finished card number 7. So this might not be the same order in which you start them. Yep. Okay, so use this. This will be a helpful diagnostic tool for your team as you go through the game. All right? Okay, and you probably all want to know, how do you win the game? Right, so the scoring is like this. So for every card you finish in 1 to 2 days, it's 700. 3 to 5, 400. 6 plus is 300. Some of the cards are going to have an urgent tag on them. So it looks like this little red tag. It's like a production defect, like your checkout card is broken. So it's costing you money every day that it's in progress. All right, so you get negative 100 for every day that it's in progress. So that might be a thing you want to work on. Okay, so I know this says no estimates, but before we start, I'm going to ask you for an estimate, okay? So I'll tell you this. So the whole backlog is 25 cards. The average effort for each card, remember I said I'm giving you this perfect knowledge? The effort for average effort for the cards is 21. Some will be more, some will be less, but the average effort is 21. Okay? So what I want you to tell me, I'll give you 2 or 3 minutes as a team. How many days will it take you to complete all 25 cards, the whole project? All right?
Was the 21 Fibonacci, it's relative?
25, oh, it's 21.
Yes, it's relative.
No, it's exactly how much. So this tells you exactly how much work is for each card. So some will be 26, some will be 18, some will be 16.
That number refers to the circles.
Yes. Yep. And each of you can do 4 per day.
4 per day.
Okay? Okay, I want an estimate. I'll give you 2 or 3 minutes. All right, take 1 more minute to get your estimates together. Okay, Who has an estimate you'd like to tell me? Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, this is the purple team, yeah?
Yeah. It's 25.
25 days, okay, very nice. Okay, everybody revising your estimates now? Okay, Zelena?
Zelena 28.
28. Okay. Blue team, are you ready? 25, okay, yes. 24, all right, 24, nice. Okay, red team. 21, all right, yeah, very nice. Okay. So I'd like to point out at this point in the game, just, I don't know if you all see this, but you all have the exact same backlog, and yet our range of estimates goes from 21, 24, 25, 28. What's going on here? Are you not? Yeah, it should be the same, right? You have the same backlog.
Feeling.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right, well, we'll figure that out later. Okay, so thank you for your estimates. I wish you all the luck. You're going to need it. Do we have any questions before we get started?
Yes.
Yes.
Will you count down the days? Day one is over.
Each team counts its own days, right?
Okay.
So
Each team counts.
yeah, and so you don't have to be on the same day. It actually works out just fine. Okay. The thing is, if you help another team, you just need to make sure that you're not helping your team and their team, and you're splitting your effort, right? So if you use 2 in your own team, you have to only use 1 for the other team, unless you help them out all in the same day.
It's like we're from cross countries and like holidays.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
What do we do with event cards?
Event card. Okay. At the end of each day, when you can no longer play any effort, you draw an event card. Okay, and that will tell you something. Okay. Any other questions? You ready to get started?
Yeah.
Okay, the red team. Where's the red team? Is over here. Yeah, you guys are my favorite team. You guys, 21 days. That's amazing. So.
We have some goals and we are ready for overtime. We just said that now nobody will want to help us.
That's right. Okay.
Can we work overtime?
No, you cannot work overtime. I'm sorry. Sustainable pace. Sustainable pace. He likes to work. Okay, no, sustainable pace. Okay, are you ready to start?
Yes.
Okay.
Can we go back to the
Yes. Daily rules, yes. Okay. All right. So you could probably start by turning over the first card. Yeah, you can start multiple cards if you like. So maybe the designer would like to use all 4 of yours. Yeah. So you can just go like this. So now you've got 2. Someone else help out. But someone else will have to use 2 to get 1 point there.
I can put for 1 point, 1 developer and 1
And then side phase will be
Sequentially. At this point, you might have something happen later, but for now, you have to finish them sequentially.
development then the next day we move to testing.
You can do multiple stages in the same day.
No, that's not. But can we start So the next day we start with the testing. Can we start the same?
Yes.
So if we do 2 developers 8 cubes, it's 1 day already done.
So that's why you have to wait until they're finished. So that it has to be sequentially finished.
This is what I'm asking. So if we start already.
It doesn't have to be the same.
We can start. So
percentage working outside of our specialty. Does it matter? Doesn't matter. So in any stage we can help out. Znamo, to je završen prvi dan, sad smo ali samo dok smo stigli, ovo moramo zapisati
Da, ali šanite, nismo još na drugom danu.
Nismo, evo sad ulazimo. Kockice za ljudi.
Imaš i da vamo slijed događaja.
Da, ajde zavrti da vidimo kakvi smo sreći. Dobro, ajde sad uzmemo kockice nazad, da? Drugi dan je, pitanje. Ako je blokirano, ajde uzmite samo, čekaj da uzmemo nazad. A što ide? Imamo.
Best here, let's say, one point, because here you don't have anything. You will not move from here, and then you're just losing the best.
Two of yours is actually one for the so we need one more for the so we have this is
at the end what will this then? After we finish we always know how it works.
They say test, we need 4, yes, no! We need to wait for another day.
So we need 4 additional.
It's late.
Leave the design. The year part only costs us
100. Do we also get something? Or we just
No, this one is just costing us.
So we're about out of time. So we're going to do the debrief. So if I could have everybody's attention. So we have a break in just a few minutes. So I'll try to go quickly. But one of the things we wanted to learn in this game is different approaches to estimating, right? So in the first estimate at the very beginning of the game, I asked you to give me an estimate. And can someone from a team just tell me what your process was for estimating?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like someone go. What our process was for
Yeah, how did you come up with 25?
So basically, you said it was 25 cards with 21 points for each in average, yeah?
Yep.
So we calculated like 24 divided by 8 is 3, by 8 people is
Yep.
3. So each card is 5.5 days.
Okay.
5.5 days. That means in a perfect solution it would be 16.5, but it's never like perfect because you always split up.
Okay.
I need more time on something, and then with helping others, we did add around 50% at that time.
So you added some
some kind of
factors.
padding for helping for it's not always a perfect solution.
Okay, great. So you started with effort, calculated the capacity of your team, and then made some kind of fudge factor.
Maybe we would come up with a different strategy, but it was in a 3 minutes.
Okay.
So
You would have gotten your calculator out. Does everybody else do that same kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so you came up with that number based on one source of variation, although it sounds like you took into account some other things that might happen, right? So that was based on effort primarily, and
Unknowns.
sorry, and okay, let's put etc. Okay, and that you gave me one number. Did I tell you you had to give me one number?
Yeah, we could do range.
You could have given me a range, yeah?
No.
But you gave me one, so we'll call that a deterministic forecast. Okay? So this is problematic because when we tell someone we'll do it in 21 days, what do people think?
Okay.
Right? Exactly. So they take that as an 100% expectation. So when we think about the future, we need to think about probabilistic planning. And so when we think about the future, there's more than one possible outcome, right? Yeah, you could have done it in 21 days, but there are also other options, like you could have taken 30 days, or it might have taken 18 days, right? So we need to think about those probabilistically. Each one of those outcomes has a probability associated to it, okay? And it's never 100%. That's what this makes us think, though. Okay, so there are a couple teams that got to Vince. Who met Vince? Okay. All right, so Vince is the PMO guy.
No, we did it.
Oh, you did? Okay, all right.
The last.
Oh, okay, okay.
Last day.
Okay.
So we didn't
All
have
right.
the time.
So Vince asked you, he locked you in a room and made you re-estimate.
Yeah.
So how did you answer that question the second time?
I have to apologize to my team. I just blurred out the number because we are right on schedule.
Okay,
so
okay.
You can just delete that.
Okay, okay.
Didn't have time to re-estimate.
Okay, no
Give us
problem.
a minute.
No.
We didn't have time to re-estimate.
Okay, one team did though, right? You guys in the back? Or you guys do? You just stay because you hate Vince and you're like, bah. So you didn't even think about it?
Yes, we just estimated. We saw that we are on schedule. So
We're actually ahead of schedule.
How did you know you were on schedule?
Because we finished MVP.
we finished MVP.
Okay.
And we were, I think, almost halfway through. And on the day with what?
We
10 or 11.
Basically, we were 12 cards done.
Okay.
Two in progress,
Okay.
and it's only like 10 cards.
Okay, great. So in that case, did you guys do the same kind of thing?
Yeah.
Roughly?
Today, so we just added two more.
Okay. So did you look at effort at this point? You just counted the cards, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's important. But why did you count the cards?
See how many tests we can.
Okay, right. So in that case, you're using the cards because you know intuitively the cards have all the different sources of variation, not just effort involved, right? And so that was a much better use of planning than just saying how many effort for each card, because it included everything, all right? So what kinds of things did we discover then in the game? So we talked about effort. What other kinds of things led to the delivery time being different? Dependencies, okay. What kind of blockers? Okay, so we have effort, dependencies, blockers.
The team itself. Where we chose the roles in the team, it affected.
Okay, staff, rules.
We figured out that we can use other teams without even needing them, so we actually sped up our estimates.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
That's what we did.
So collaboration policy.
Improvement or education.
Improvement.
We need to spend time on improving ourselves.
Okay. Investments.
What?
And what about
So hold on. So did anybody do the card where it said you can invest in continuous deployment?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We didn't go for it.
You didn't go for it. Okay. Did you guys do it? Yeah. Okay. And why did you do it?
We were hoping it will get automatic deployment.
Yeah. Okay. And
we did.
And it did. So did you guys realize that it makes you so you don't have to roll the dice anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Oh. So sorry. You. Okay. Sorry. That was my fault. Okay.
We have 2 more cards.
Okay. Okay. So you guys did it. And so what was the dice simulating? What kind of source of variation?
Unknowns, risks.
Unknown risk in terms of what did you have to do? You had to.
penalties?
It was rework, right? Rework. Okay. Good. What else? I came around and I saw all of your teams. all the teams have at least 8 people.
Yeah.
And what was your average work in progress?
One.
One to two?
1 to 2, I would say.
1 to 2? 1 to 2. All right, so you guys, I've done this game with lots of different groups, and I want to congratulate you. You are the only team, or the only group, who's ever kept your WIP at that level, all 4 teams. So you guys are, that's pretty amazing. But okay, so why am I congratulating you though? Why do I care? Why not? Why, if you've done like 4 in progress or 5?
Not focusing.
Yeah, multitasking.
Focusing, right?
If it's not a problem if more than one is in progress, but not more than 2 per person,
Okay.
per assigned person.
Yeah, so this is a good thing. So you can empirically try to find out what's the best WIP limit for your team. And so one of the questions was how do we know how many cards to do as opposed to how fast to do them, right? So you could have had a policy where you're doing 4 at a time. Did anybody ever end a day with an extra cube?
Yes.
Okay. Did that feel uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Why did it feel uncomfortable?
You couldn't spend it.
contribute to other
Yeah.
work stream.
Yeah. Yeah. It felt like you're wasting, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but sometimes we invested in those opportunity cards.
Okay.
But sometimes we helped other teams with
Okay.
a lot
Okay.
of
All right.
dependencies.
So yeah. So sometimes you were able to use it, but sometimes you had a cube at the end of the day and it was wasted.
Basically, what we change alert at some point when we have like, let's say, a design cube.
Yeah.
In the, like extra.
Yeah.
Design cube extra, we open a new card and invest it on design.
Ah, okay. So that's what happens in a lot of companies. They see people who are not busy, and so they start more work.
Yeah.
Right? But right, you work for that company, right? So the thing is though, and you guys were able to see it because it's really clear when you visualize the work. But why did you not do that? Why was it okay ultimately for you to waste a cube?
It's better to waste a cube than to waste money by starting work at the end of the day.
Yes.
Because it's going to cost us in the long run.
Yeah. So we call that utilization policy. All right. We don't pay people to be busy. We pay people to finish work. All right. And so that's a tricky thing, and it's difficult. But you guys learned the lesson because you saw it, right? You made the work visible, and so utilization policy is a huge thing that gets a lot of companies in trouble, right? The other thing was that we made we made it very tangible, very visible how much money you were making, right? And so if you think about your real work, making it more connected to say, when we're working on this thing, there's actually a monetary outcome for that. You guys would have behaved very differently if I had not told you about the money part, probably, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So, okay, good. So we've got a lot of these sources of variation. All right, but typically, when we estimate, what's the main thing we key on? Well, when you estimate, when I said, give me an estimate at the beginning, effort, right? That's the thing we think about the most. That's the thing that we know the least about at the time, and it's only about 15 to 20% in software development of the total time it takes. The reason we do this is because we intuitively think that there's a correlation, right, between effort and delivery time. Since I took your data, we can check that, all right? So I apologize. If you guys need to leave for the coffee break, that's totally fine. I'm just going to...
No, we want to see if we won.
You want to see if you won? Sorry.
Where can we take our cash?
Just email me and I'll send it to you. Okay. So I just have the data for... is it coming up? Can you start it? So I took the red team's data. So the red team had finished 11 stories, 11 cards on day 10. Okay, so this is the snapshot I took for those guys. Come on. Yeah, okay, all right. All right. So, all right, so here's the effort So that was the gift I gave you, the perfect effort at the beginning. So, and here's how long it took them in delivery time. All right, so in math terms, what's a perfect correlation?
1 to 1.
1, yes, exactly. A perfectly inverse correlation would be -1. So like the higher amount of effort, the shorter amount of time it takes. That would be kind of weird though, right?
Yeah.
All right, and then a 0 is there's no correlation at all. All right, so does anybody want to guess what their correlation was between effort and actual delivery time? So some number.
21 is the average effort for delivering one card, one item.
Yeah.
So if we deliver in 1 day, means that we should deliver average card.
Yeah, yeah. So if you had cards like this,
Yeah.
right? You would expect this to be like 1, 2, and 3, something like that, as opposed to 3, 1, 2.
Yeah.
Like this is like a no correlation,
Yeah.
right? So give me a number between -1 and 1, and 0 is no correlation at all.
Wow.
Their average is 1.
I would
0.
say 0.
You think it's 1? You think there's no correlation at all between 0.3? Okay. Any other guesses? I heard 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3/4 is 0.75.
No, you said it's 40% of effort is actually, so 0.
Yeah, I kind of gave you a little bit of a
0.
All right. So yeah. So let's actually see. All right.
Oh.
So very low. So, and this is if we did this in your actual teams, which you can do, by the way, you would probably have a similar number. I actually worked with one team. They were a really high-performing team, and they had a negative correlation between they estimated their features and the actual delivery time of their features. There was a negative correlation. So the smaller they estimated the feature, the longer it took them, and vice versa. So think about that for a second. But it's because they didn't consider all of these other things. The good news is that we don't have a lot of control over this, but these things, do we have control over work in progress?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
I mean, unless you're getting pressure from a manager.
Right, okay, so good. So this is a good conversation to have. Utilization policy,
Yes.
maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, anyone who's a manager, maybe? Collaboration policy? Yeah?
Yeah.
So you guys, in this game, did anybody ever spend time outside of their main role?
Yes.
Probably all the time, right?
Constantly, yeah.
That's collaboration policy. So this collaboration policy and work in progress, those are the two most powerful levers you can have to control your predictability and become more predictable with your estimates. So one final thing, speaking of estimates, so we talked about doing different ways of estimating. So there's a third way we can do this, and it's called a probabilistic forecast. So you guys just gave one number here, but we talked about doing a range, right? And so what we can do is use that team's data to calculate when they might be finished. So I'm going to show you, is this kind of what your scatter plot looked like, red team? Yeah. Right, so a lot of things took 2 days.
1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1.
Okay. Okay, something is okay. So what we can do is we can ask the question, when will we be done? Okay, so this is taking the data that they actually did. So I took their scorecard. And we're going to ask the question, so we're going to pretend that we're on we're just going to pretend we're starting on the beginning of the year. Okay, actually, and it was on day 10 that I took their data, so we're going to say it's January 10th. Okay? And we're going to say, so they had completed 11 items. So that means they had 14 left, right? Okay. So 14. So from this, then we can start looking probabilistically and saying, at different levels of confidence, we can give that information to our stakeholders to say when we'll be finished, right? So if we're very conservative, we might plan at the 95th percentile. So if we look at 95, sorry, it's American style dates. It's the 26th, right? So 26 days. So if we look at this, you might say a 95th percentile. So 26 days. A slightly less conservative would be at the 85th. So that's 25. Okay, it's not going to be a big deal because this is a, right? And that's 85th. And then we might choose 50th percentile. 23rd, yeah. So this, now we have a probabilistic forecast. So we can then tell our stakeholders not one single answer, but we can say we have between a 23 and 26% window from the 50th to the 95th percentile. And that's actually using real data that includes all of those sources of variation. Yeah. So we've moved, in this game, we moved from an upfront estimate based on effort to it's a deterministic forecast, one number, to, for at least one team, a deterministic forecast based on data, right? You were using data, the number of cards, and then we've now done a probabilistic forecast. So this is basically, if you do it this way, you just need to use your data that you've had. Sorry. Yes?
Are you going to be posting something?
Yes, I'll post this. And this game, by the way, is open source, so you can download it and play it yourself. If you want this like professionally designed, I sell those, but you can download it for free. But I will post all the information. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll put it on my Twitter, which is here. Sorry, I know it was kind of fast, but yeah, if you and if you have any questions, feel free to talk to me. I love talking about this stuff. Hopefully, it was helpful to you. And thank you for playing. Thank you.